And Randy, he turned micro trading into a real estate down payment by funding a duplex. These are real stories, real people, all coming to trading for very different reasons. But each and every one of them found enough success to turn it into a full-time path. And I am so honored to share their stories with you. But before we dive into these inspirational stories, I want to take a moment to thank ACAP for sponsoring this segment. ACAP is an established broker in Australia with licenses in Australia, the UK, basically the strictest regulatory environment in the world. They're taking a completely innovative approach to prop trading. They still offer the traditional prop trading challenges that many of our sponsors do, but they also offer the fastest challenges in the market. 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour challenges starting at just $5 alone. So we'll be giving away ACAP challenges at the end of the session. The ACAP sponsor post just went live, so you know what to do. Follow Prop Trader Edge on X. I can only DM you if you follow it. Comment Prop Rocks under the ACAP sponsor post that just went up, and we'll announce the winners at the end of the session. So LFG, I don't curse, so we'll just say LFG, and let's, have these gentlemen join us. And of course, you guys can use whatever language you want. My sessions are usually clean, though. Thank you, Abraham, Randy, James. I'm so excited to have all of you today. And you've got such incredible real life stories, and you're doing so well in prop trading that let's get right to it. I want to start with Abraham. Tell us about what your life was like before you started trading.
So, first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be here sharing my story with everybody and all these amazing traders. So, I'm from Puerto Rico. That's an island in the Caribbean. I'm from a town that is called Bayamon, and it's a town that is really known because it's really hot. There's a lot of criminality, and I grew up seeing these guys as, I want to be like them. I want to have the money, the respect, and I made poor choices as a young kid, and I ended up in prison, in jail. I did a sentence of 10 years of my life since I was 20 to my 30, and yes, it was really tough. I grew up in this environment, and actually, I let that guide my decisions and how I see myself. Fast forward 10 years later, when I had the opportunity to be back in freedom, one friend of mine talked me about crypto, and I start seeing the charts of Bitcoin, and I just fall in love with this. And I saw in trading a way to redeem myself, and the opportunity to have a second opportunity. And 6 years later is amazing. Trading has changed my life.
I mean, I love Randy, I love you, James, but there's no better turnaround story than being in prison for 10 years and then being able to withdraw $500,000. It's just inspirational. And we'll get to how you do it. But James, you as well. You went from pro rugby to trading. I mean, that's a huge identity shift. How did the injury push you to the markets?
Yeah, my story is not as amazing as that, Abraham. That's pretty cool, I must say. But I was studying my Bachelor of Commerce degree in finance while playing professional rugby at the same time. So doing a bit of both. My dad and family have a background in finance too. So I was always interested in the markets. I've been investing since I was young. But yeah, after I got an injury, I had to turn to something different. I saw that, rugby and professional sports only has a limited time frame. And that's where I found trading. Obviously, markets, as I said, I was always involved. So, yeah, that's where actually I found Austin Silver after about 2 years of trading. I know he was on earlier, and kind of from there just took off.
Amazing. Yeah, we're all big fans of Austin. Randy, you weren't chasing, your focus is that you're not chasing millions. You have a very specific goal that made you successful, and you basically approach trading from a very methodical way that has led to your success. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So basically, um I'm sorry.
Sound good.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm doing this. I'm a little bit nervous, but basically, yes, I'm just taking it slow. I mean, I got to the point where I was looking at big gains from everybody, and I was like, no, I don't. I mean, I was trying to do the same thing, and then I just changed my mentality, and I just went for base hits, small hits, baby steps, and that led me to making more money than my regular job in my last year. So yeah, I'm very blessed.
So let's talk about trading. Let's talk about how each of you approach the markets. I'll throw it back to James right now. First of all, what do you trade? Walk us through a typical trade for you. What time frame? What instruments? What indicators that you're using? Oh wait, hold on. Let me turn you back on. Go ahead.
There you go. I've been trading for 9 years now. So I first got into trading in South Africa. Obviously, CFD trading, which I know ACAP offers, is very big, right? So currencies are kind of like the main focus point, I would say, in marketing in terms of what traders here get into. So I started off trading currencies. Austin was also obviously trading currencies at the time as well. But in the last 4 years, I've switched over to our day trade indexes and stocks. And then I also do swing trade individual stock names as well. But from a technical aspect, I don't know if you wanted me to share screens or anything like that. I can do if you want. But yeah, I use the opening range, and I love using VWAPs as well. So that's a big component of my trading. And then I do also have like from the study background, I like data and stuff like that. So I do use a lot of data from a company called Edgeful as well, which gives me, a bias for the day and stuff like that, helping me guide with data-backed decisions. But I like what Randy said there. A lot of traders as well, for me, I'm not looking for these massive wins and everything like that. I think if you can just stack base hits and you can, what he did, I think that's fantastic. You made more money what you did in your day job. You can actually turn your life around. You get a lot more time back. I'm a husband. I'm a father as well to a 1-year-old son. So I want to spend more time with them. And that's what trading does offer. But I think if you are trying to go for these massive outsized wins, like you see on social media, I think you're going to have a hard time getting there. It's about, one step at a time. So for me, I'm day trading. I'm not looking to have massive point gains. I've got a few trades from last week that I can maybe speak on, but between 50 and 100 points on the NASDAQ. I had a losing trade on Tesla on Friday, but you manage the losses and you stack those base hits up with a high win rate, and you can make it happen. So that's what I do.
So you said that you use the opening range, VWAP, and data. What is this data that you're looking at?
Sure. So the data that I'm looking at comes from Edgeful, as I mentioned. They're a data company. So basically, it'll give you stats like if the first hour of the market opens. So for example, if the NASDAQ opens up at 25,000 on the dot and it closes the first hour at 25,100, that's a bullish first hour. And what are the statistics of the rest of the day closing green as a bullish closing day based on that first hour? So stats like that. Or if we take out the opening range high, how far will we run in the direction of that break, and statistics like that. So that's how I'm using the stats from Edgeful.
Oh, that's very interesting. What about you, Abraham? What's a typical trade for you? What do you trade? What time frame charts do you look at?
So I have a strategy that is based on a market structure and order flow. It's called El Sistema. So my boys are there, calling them. So it's a strategy based on market cycles, in where is the price based on the last levels. And then I use order flow to confirm my entries. I like to see that I'm entering with impetus, with momentum. I use a tool that is called Bookmap that gave me the opportunity to see the orders, entering in real time. And then I use what is the VWAP and the point of control as a support or resistance levels. And if I got everything aligned with my overall bias in the market cycle, and I have the impetus getting in the market, I try to get in with the institutions And I same as you guys, I aim for base hits, but I like to scale. I don't I never look to have big wins, but have small wins in multiple accounts. And that is when the magic happens. The 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 magic of compounding your accounts.
I agree with Sunday. It seems like VWAP is a very, very popular way for a lot of these traders to get funded and also get paid. So if you're learning about it first time, lots of great people here talking about it. They could learn more from. Randy, you've got so many fans. They're all over the chat, and so I'm sure they want to, and everyone else wants to hear from you. What do you trade? I think you said micros.
Yes.
Is that,
Yes, so I only trade on micros, MNQ. That's my bread. My trading style is super simple. I mean, I just keep it super simple. I just look at our market structure, like Abraham. And I just look at individuals. I mean, I like EMAs. I love EMAs, so I like the trend. Where's the trend, going? And basically, I'm just waiting for that breakout momentum trade. But I'm also looking at individuals. I'm looking at what NVIDIA is doing, what Apple is doing, what Microsoft is doing. Because if those, let's say, for example, MNQ just broke to the upside, but the individuals are going down, that's telling me, hey, wait, something's going to happen, because that's what's driving, the market or the NASDAQ, the ETF, So I just implemented, like Abraham, I just implemented Bookmap, and I'm looking at Delta, and it's been helping me. But basically just one trade and done. I have 20 accounts. I have several prop firms, but I'm focusing more on Apex, and just one trade and I'm done. 2 micros, I've been getting $200, 50-point move. And if you times that by 20, I mean, this $4,000, $5,000 a day. So I've been blessed. But I mean, my charts is super simple. I mean, and one and done. If I take yesterday was a prime example, I took a losing trade on the first trade, and then I didn't add to my losers. I didn't do none of that. I just took the loss and then stepped back, and then I went back in another trade, and I was able to recover the money. So best loser wins, like the book says.
Exactly.
There's actually, so much valuable information you just gave there, which is number one, one trade and you're done. If you don't need to do more than that. Number two, $150 to $200 a day, 20 accounts. That's, a very significant amount of money. And then number three, Bookmap. This is the first time we're hearing about this on the show, but it's something that traders that I know who've been trading for 20 years use it. And so a lot of prop traders may just be hearing about Bookmap for the very first time or not, but it's something, this order flow information is extraordinarily valuable. Not everyone uses it. Everyone trades differently, as you've heard today, but those who have found it very valuable. So, I definitely think that's important. Now, in terms of the actual frequency of the trades, Abraham, are you also trading 2 to 3 trades a day, one to 2 trades a day, or are you a more active trader?
No. I'm just for one hit in a day, and that's it. I have learned that more I get into the market is the more the risk, and I end up losing more. So I like to wait for a perfect setup when everything aligns. I just try to maximize that setup. The thing is, I usually aim just for a 1 to 2 risk reward, but if I see that I have the momentum, in my favor, I just let it run and start to trailing, and I try to bring home the more that I can. But I only try to get one time in the market. If I lost, that is for the day. I go with my kid to play and do something else. But that's how I try to manage my risk.
James, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, I believe you're a bit more of a frequent trader. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then number
Correct. 2,
Abraham just said something. I think it was said 1 or 2 losers and he's done. How do you approach consecutive losers? At what point do you say you're done for the day?
Yeah, so I am a little bit more of a frequent trader, but what I have learned in my 9 years, at least, of trading for myself, is that the markets will go through cycles. Sometimes, it's, for for my strategy, the markets can be very dead, very low volume, and that's when I might come to the desk and might not even trade that day. And then there'll be other days in the week or in the market cycle where it's hot for my strategy, and that's where I need to push. I found that you're not going to like make the exact same amount of money every single month trading. So when I am having the markets in my favor and working for me, that's where I will trade more often, because I want to capitalize on that, because the markets are working for me. So I don't have like a specific amount of trades for the day. If the markets are working in my favor, I might take 5 trades in a day across different assets. I might trade NASDAQ. I might trade NVIDIA and Tesla. I might trade, Robinhood. And then in terms of the max loss limits, my bad thing when I first started trading was I didn't even know, when I first got into it, I didn't even know what a stop loss was. So it was always you move the stop loss, and if it comes against you, you move it lower and until you wipe your account out. So I think for me over the years, having a max daily loss rule on whether you're trading prop firm accounts, whether you're trading personal accounts, definitely does help. So if I get that, I've got software in the background from all of my accounts. If that triggers, I'm done for the day. It closes me out, and I can't trade anymore. I think that's probably the most number one for myself, I'm speaking, but also from other traders that I've worked with and coached and everything like that, is it's the account killer. Because a lot of the times what I've seen, again, from my own trading, is I might have 4 great trading days or 3 great trading weeks, and then you have 1 week in the month that wipes out all your gains and some, because you've been undisciplined, you've taken extra trades, taken extra knocks. So having those max loss limits in place is definitely a game changer for me.
Okay, so now I have a question for all 3 of you, which is number 1, how many hours are you staring at the screen? And number 2, what's the best time of day for your trades? And I'll start with Randy.
So I'm addicted to this. I mean, I'm always looking at the chart. My wife, she gets mad at me because sometimes it's like 11 p.m. I'm just looking at the charts, even though I'm not trading, but I'm just looking at the charts. But I'm more of a, like, as soon as the market open 9:30, 1 hour, 10:30, I'm done. That's it. I like to wait for at least the first 5 minutes to close. But I've been using a lot of orb lately, so at least I wait for the 15 minutes. And yeah, that's it. I mean, one and done. But I'm always looking at the market. I mean, I'm just addicted to this.
I mean, so you don't take a step back at all, and there's no shutdown point for you?
Not really. Sometimes I see a setup at, let's say, 10:20, and I told because I live trade with my friends and stuff like that. And I tell them, hey, the setup looks good, but I'm not gonna take it. First of all, I have a full-time job, so I have to go back to work. So I don't want to get married to the trade. 10:30, 11, volume comes down. So I don't want to get married to the trade. I just want to be like done for the day, So usually my sweet point is about 9:40, and by 10:15, I'm done for the day. But I'm always looking at trades and stuff like that. I rarely take another trade.
All right. What about you, Abraham?
So I think this question I can answer in 2 segments. When I was developing my strategy and honing my skills, I spent a lot of time in the charts. I'm a person that I am always addicted to practice, and I'm always back testing using back testing platform, simulators and stuff like that. But in my trading, when I'm trading, is only about 3 to 4 hours. Like from 8 in the morning, I start like doing my research on fundamentals. I start looking the overall markets, and I trade till, let's say, 11 or 12. I wait till that time. After that, I don't trade anymore. But I always like to keep practicing. So I use like Forex Replay or TradeZilla as backtesting platforms. So I would say I spend more than 6 to 8 hours on charts a day. That it is sometimes trading, sometimes just practicing, or maybe doing some studies. I always like to be learning new stuff and develop myself.
What about you, James?
Yeah, so I'm in South Africa. So the market open is actually only at 4:30 p.m. South African time here. So I used to trade before I had my son. I used to trade Eurex markets. I used to trade a lot of the DAX in the London session. But now obviously I've got to split my time up a little bit more wisely. So I'm looking at the markets. Honestly, I like what Randy said there about, being addicted to trading. I think if you want to make it in this game long term, I think you have to be obsessed. Personally, I don't think you can come into it and do it half-heartedly. I think anyone that's made a successful career out of trading, I think they go into it all or nothing. So I'm watching the charts literally from 8 a.m. Eastern time before the market opened, not specifically trading. I'll only trade really after the market open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. But then I'm watching the markets. I might look at it for the first 2.5, 3 hours, and then if I've had a trade or if I don't find anything in that window, I'm going to have dinner with my wife. But I got my phone up, I got my laptop up, and I'm always checking it every 10, 15 minutes just to see what's setting up. I set up alerts and everything like that just to see what is setting up or potentially. For example, on Wednesday, I liked the longs on the NASDAQ, and it was 9:30 p.m. South African time. I was finishing up dinner, and I really liked the longs. And I actually took those longs into that Trump tweet that ended up soaring the NASDAQ over 200 points. So, I'm always keeping an eye on outer markets because I know what specifically I'm looking for after 9 years of trading. But again, I think if you aren't obsessed with this and like really love trading, I think you're going to find it tough because you have to, be on it every single day.
So you've been trading for 9 years, and we've got a really good question here that I want to ask you, which is, how valuable do you think back testing is? I mean, did you do it beforehand? Now you're so experienced. Do you still do it? Do you not do it? I mean, Abraham talked about how important it is for him. Do you want to go ahead, Jake?
I think personally for me, I think backtesting, if you're a new trader, is really, really good. If you have a mechanical system that you like to enter and execute on like that, I think it's really good. I've got a lot of friends here in South Africa that have been doing this for 25 plus years, and they're very big on discretional trading. That's how I kind of categorize myself. I'm a very good field trader of the markets. Like I know when momentum's coming in. So I actually don't really do much backtesting. I look at charts a lot. So you can call that backtesting in essence, but as I said, I'm a very, very big field trader, but you only get that from looking at charts for many, many hours and many, many years. So I think it's great. You can call looking at charts every single day, backtesting, going over past markups, going over past market cycles. But for me, I really like my discretional and field trading, and that comes from the 9 years of trading in itself and putting the time in.
Can I give I'm so sorry, my opinion on that one. Yeah. And the way that I do back testing is through these platforms that gathers data. And I think, like he said, he has 9 years of experience. That's a lot. But if you are starting, you don't have like that 9 year of experience, but you can backtest 9 years. I like to use backtesting platform and not just rewinded the chart because you don't have the chance to see, it's like you can play it on real time, do it like if you were like trading, and the platform gave you a lot of data of your KPIs. How is your trade expectancy? How is your risk to reward and your winning rate? Everything you can identify. Where are you more strong? Where are your weakness? And you can work with it. And for me, it's amazing. It's like if I am a basketballer, going to the court every day, just practicing my shot, just honing my skills. I really love it. I like it.
Yes, definitely.
I can't believe how quickly time ran out. I do have one final question for Randy, which is, if there's one thing you wish that you knew when you started, what would you say it is?
Just focus on the process. Stop looking at the money. Stop chase the money. Just look for consistency. Look for discipline, and money will come. Money will come. I rushed the system so many times, and I had this strategy going back to the back testing. I started back testing, and I had my strategy, but it was one thing that it was missing, and I think it was that consistency. Just focus on the process, and money will come. Um, I Austin mentioned something, and I think I already did a lot of back testing, and I'm to the point where I know my strategy works. And what I'm doing right now, he mentioned, so I was like, oh, I have to clean it out. I have a bunch of like my journaling. I mean, every single day I write down what I do, what I did, what went right. Yeah. So basically, just stop focusing on the money. Money will come. It will come. But like the ladies on the mom session, just be ready to lose money, because whoever says that trading is easy, they're lying. I mean, it's hard. It's worth it.
Listen, you know that we could speak to each and every one of these gentlemen for hours. You could listen to them for hours on their own channels. They're listed here. Boris will mention it again. And, you know, I know that we all want more from every single person that's spoken at PropFest so far. And this is a taste of what could be to come if we do more of these. So make sure, you know, you give us some claps, make us feel good. You know, let our sponsors know that you love this. And hopefully we can put something like this together again. So Boris is going to come back. Thank you so much, Randy and Abraham and James. Yeah. I know, you know, I'm not sure about Randy, but I know Abraham streams in Spanish for those of you that speak Spanish. You know, James is got that sweet South African voice that he'll talk to you in. And Randy, you know, you're pretty private, right?
I have a small group. It's growing, but I'm doing Spanish as well. Actually, Spanish is my first language, so we're trying to focus on that. And I chat a lot with Abraham, so James, we can be friends now.
Yeah, we must connect. I'm glad we did this interview though in English, because I would struggle in Spanish.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good to meet you guys, Randy and Abraham. Thanks, guys.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Oh my God, what a panel. What an amazing, amazing panel. It's funny. I was watching the comments, and it's like Team Abraham, Team Randy, everybody going to Team James. You know, everybody's got their fans. It's really wonderful to see it. I think, you know, I'm going to put together the 10 commandments of Prop Trader Fest, because there's so many ideas that are just popping up over and over again from the successful traders that really need to be distilled in what I think is the top 10 commandments of prop trading. And I'm probably going to put that out to you guys at the end. I'm just glad you guys are all having a great time and enjoying the show. The show is amazing. Our sponsor, ACAP, a really interesting prop firm, as I said to you, they're using timed, like 1 hour prop challenges, 5 hour prop challenges, 4 hour prop challenges, in addition to which, by the way, you can also do regular prop challenges, and you can use EAs on their props, which is super cool. If you have automated strategies or just EAs that help you trade fast tools, those are really, really valuable for our friends at ACAP. They're big friends of ours. We really absolutely love them. They're a broker as well as a prop firm. As you notice, you know, one of the key things that came up here was the necessity to make sure that you really want to be dealing with people that are going to honor their bets. And of course, I think all of our sponsors are doing just that. That's wonderful. We're going to raffle off the ACAP challenges right now. Let's see who's been the winner. Funded Guard. MT Trades or M Trades, Johnny MC, Aviares, and RAKS9. All of you guys have the ACAP challenge. Make sure, take your phone, put it up to above my head, QR the code, get the 15% off on ACAP challenges. They're really, really cool. They start as little as $5. I mean, it's just a great way to put your toe in the water if you're sort of interested in trading, but really, really a lot of fun. The next panel is also going to be great, because these are guys who really, for whom this isn't, you know, their life and death matter. I think these guys, the reason why I love to having these guys on is because the guys who are trading on the next panel are basically doing it as an avocation, which I think is what most of us who are in the prop space are doing. This isn't their sole source of income. This is just sort of a side gig, but it's what an amazing side gig it has been for them. And they're going to teach you and tell you all about how that panel is working. So I'm going to let Kay introduce them.
Yes, this training panel features 3 different traders with vastly different backgrounds, all building real income through the markets. We started the day with David Green, who said that, you know, one of his students who've been doing it extraordinarily well is Nick, a 25-year Army veteran. So we're delighted to have him join us today. He is also one of the reasons why we're donating to Hope for Warriors, because, you know, we met so many incredible warriors at our big conference in Boca. Daniel is a real estate executive who fits trading into his work schedule. You know, he's just like most of you who has a full-time job and has to find a way to fit trading into his everyday lifestyle. Walter is a CFD trader, traded other stuff in the past, just recently started prop trading, and, you know, actually pulled out $40,000 just last month. So he's found good success transitioning from a traditional broker trader, which I believe he still does, into, you know, also prop trading. Each of these traders, as I said, come to the markets from very different places, but they're all building income through trading. And most importantly, they're here today to share with you how they're actually doing it. And they'll be speaking with Sam, who spent much of his time interviewing traders and digging into their process, discipline, and decision-making. He's really great with interviews. I know you don't want to hear from me all the time, so, you know, you're going to be able to hear his interview style. This session's giveaways are sponsored by Ola Prime, a prop firm that is known for 1-hour guaranteed on-demand payouts. They, you know, are growing very fast, and they also have amazing customer support. So here's what you need to do to win an Ola Prime giveaway or challenge. I want you to follow Prop Trader Edge on X. You need to do that so I can DM you when you're a winner. Type Prop Rocks in the Ola Prime post that just went up, and we will announce winners at the end of the session. So let's get to it and bring on and Walter.
Thank you, Kathy. Welcome, everybody. How's everyone doing? So welcome, Daniel, Nick, Walter. Great to see you all. Welcome to the show. We do have about 25 minutes on this little segment and many questions to get through. But before we get to the questions, if you guys can just give us a quick 60-second kind of intro about who you are and, you know, what you were doing before you became before trading became a serious income source. So, Walter, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, of course. Sam, thanks for the invite. First of all, thanks, Kathy and Boris, for the, you know, being part of this amazing trading fest. Well, I'm a banker. I'm still a banker, but I used to do CDFs, as Kathy was saying. I used to do CDFs. I still do CDFs a lot. But I'm getting a little bit more into the futures, prop firms, you know, challenges and stuff like that, because I think it's a really good way to get, you know, way much more money than what you do in CDFs in terms of the prop firms. Because I still have my real accounts, but still I do both. I have my own academy, wallfx.com, where I teach, you know, the different people how to trade with simple strategies, something that they can manage on how to make money out of trade.
Very nice. Very nice.
I mean, yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Nick, a quick introduction.
Hey, thanks for having me on, first of all, and thanks to Kathy and Boris, and thanks for those charitable donations to our veterans. That means a lot to me as a 25-year veteran myself. Background on me, I joined the Army when I was 18. I did 25 years active duty. I retired at 43, and now I'm a stay-at-home dad, full-time trader. So life's pretty good. Yeah.
Amazing. Incredible stuff. And David, we've spoken a few times before, but I know your story, but for the viewers, if you want to give a quick rundown on who you are.
Sure, yeah. Name's David. Yeah, I work in real estate. I actually work for a guy out of Tennessee remotely and help manage the business and do marketing and a lot of different stuff, work with sellers and stuff like that. And so yeah, during the day, I'm pretty busy with all that. So, you know, just learn how to, you know, adapt and you know, get it all done, especially with having a family and everything. So I've been trading since 2020, and I was pretty bad in the beginning. So I took about a year and a half off, 2022 and 2023, and then the end of 23, I found prop firms and dove back in again. So it's been quite a ride.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Nick, I want to jump to you really quick. You mentioned about your military service, and now you're a full-time trader. What moment, I guess, in your career did you kind of realize that you could become a full-time trader and this can replace your military career?
Yeah, so my trading journey started during the COVID, like many people, and I was sitting at the house and scrolling the internet and YouTube, and I stumbled across Wall Street Global with David Green and Peter Tuchman, and so I jumped right in, bought the course, which the course is an amazing price if you're looking for a great course to buy. It's very cheap, very affordable. So bought the course, and my wife and kids at the time had just flown to Panama, where my wife is from. And because of COVID, they got stuck there for 4 months. They couldn't come back to the US. So that basically for 4 months allowed me to spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day studying this course, opening a brokerage account. I originally just started trading stocks, and I started finding some success. I followed these rules. I attribute a lot of my military career to learning how to follow rules and be systemic in the way you trade and the way you carry yourself in your discipline. So I just followed the rules, and I started to notice, hey, I'm making a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. At the end of the month, I'd made, $1,000. So I started thinking, I said, hey, this could really lead to something, because when I retire from the military, obviously I'm going to get a pension. You do 20 years, you get a pension. I said, so all I have to do is get my pension, supplement that with something extra, from trading that allows me not to have to go and get another 9-to-5 job. I said, so I got to make this work. So over the next couple of years, that's what I did. I went through all the trials and tribulations that you've heard all the traders talk about today, the ups, the downs, the losses. Learning to trade during the COVID market was bad enough as it is, and then all the volatility we've had since. So, I feel like anybody that started trading during COVID, they got the calluses, right? They've endured the some of those painful moments, some of those up and downs, and they're much better traders today because of that. And then I'll tell you, as far as the prop firm, I only recently, in the last 6 months, started in the prop firm space. I went to an event down in Boca Raton that Kathy and Boris and David Green and Peter Tuchman hosted. And I had been trading futures on my own account, my personal account with Thinkorswim. And then I, hearing these other testimonies, and they said, man, so you mean to tell me I can open 10, 20 accounts and do this same thing and multiply it 10, 20? I said, I got to do this. I got to sign up. So I started doing that. And since November, this week, I just received my total payout just took me to 10,000 since November. Like I said, I just started in this prop firm space in November. Before that, I'd only done stocks and some futures. So it's pretty great. I'm glad I found it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, the prop space is amazing. But we always recommend as well, if you have your own capital as well, you should diversify. But Nick, it says here that you've recently pulled in over $40,000 from prop accounts. First of all, congratulations. That's an incredible target. But when did, prop trading shift from, like a side experiment to a genuine, legitimate income stream for you?
Really, when I seen, when I was able, going into the space, I had 5 years experience.
Sorry, I said Nick. Sorry, I meant Walter. I do apologize.
Yeah.
I do apologize.
Actually, it's I was listening to Nick, and I think I saw Nick on Boca at the same event with Boris and Peter Tuchman, that people, and it was the same reaction, because I never heard about the prop firm space of futures, actually futures, being able to have up to 20 accounts, right? That was impressive for me, because I was, I have my personal accounts, my real accounts with my broker, doing CDFs and doing prop firms, but in the CDF space. And it's been really, really hard for me to get payouts from, from those prop firms. Struggling just to get a payout of 10K, 20K. It was super, super difficult. There's always a, you're always breaking a rule, or they're making something out of whatever, right? But then I see the opportunity, and I see the testimonies from everyone saying, hey, you know what? I just got 100K from this company, another 40K from these other company. I was like, wait a second. That easy? That was really surprising for me. So I took the chance to go into the futures, because I didn't know anything about futures, but it was the same thing. I know how to do trading. It's just, different platforms, different tools and stuff like that. But at the end, my strategy works in both. So I took the chance. I bought some accounts just to do some testing, and and the platforms and everything. I got used to it, and I think it was a month and a half after that I was able to get funded. Then I did 11 accounts actually of 300K each, and I got funded in those, and I was able to make 12K if I'm not mistaken. So I did the payoff of 3K, which was the top. That was in Apex. And they gave me almost 40K, 38.5. So yeah, it's almost 40K. And that was only with 11 accounts. And this past week, I just got funded with the other 9 accounts. So now I have 20, and it's super crazy, because that was that information came out of the Boca Raton event. So that was great. That was very worth.
Amazing. My God, you're really racking it up right now, all these accounts. So very bright future ahead. If you hit 40K, I'm sure the numbers are just going to increase now. David, you're a trader here with Ola Prime. Obviously we've spoken many times, we've done many interviews together. When you first started prop trading, what was your kind of experience? Like, how many attempts did it take you to actually get to the funded stage and then get to the payouts? Was there kind of, up and down, or was it quite a smooth path for you?
Oh no, I mean, it felt like an eternity, when you're going through it, especially in the beginning. You just, you have a set amount of money you look to spend, and you blow through all of it, and you don't have any funded accounts. Like, what in the heck? So yeah, that's why I ended up taking basically almost 2 years off, just to kind of reset and step back from everything. And yeah, even when I started again, the end of 2023, it was like, yeah, still plenty of challenges failed, and just going through the suck, and just finding ways to keep on going, because what's the alternative, right? I mean, this is such a cool opportunity at our fingertips. So it's like, I was willing to just go as far as it took to figure out what ended up working for me. And so a lot of ups and downs, and finally just this last year, finally started getting some more payouts. My first payouts actually last year, and it's been great. It's been life-changing. We're not spending on anything crazy. We're just paying off stuff, and just trying to raise a happy family.
Definitely. And you've done so well. Obviously, like I mentioned before, we know each other, and you're probably one of the most consistent traders we have on our platform. So the patience and all the hard work really is paying off. And yeah, you're doing incredibly well. But I would love to kind of move the topic a little bit, and we want to talk about kind of prop trading and what are realistic expectations, because a lot of people, online, they'll see, the best results of the best, and believe that could be, what to expect when you get into this space. So any of you three can answer this question. I'll leave it to you guys. But what does a realistic monthly income range look like once you're, established in prop trading? Once you've, got your funded accounts and you're consistent, what can you kind of expect, a realistic monthly amount? We'll start, Nick, we'll start with you, and then we'll move around?
Yeah, so I only have 10 PA accounts that I trade because I primarily still trade my personal account. But realistically, so I'm a very small trader. I trade micros. I trade 3 to 5 contracts per trade. I use bracket orders on every trade, so I already know what my stop and my price target is going into the trade. And for all transparency, I trade each account individually. I don't copy trade. And on each account, I average about $50 to $75, a day. That's a green day for me. And that's, that gets me within the consistency rule. That gets me above the $50 a day requirement. And realistically, trading that small, you can expect to make $3,000 to $4,000 a month very easily.
Agreed.
I wouldn't say the trading part is easy, but if you follow your rules and you have a system, you don't need to make a lot of money to make an extra $3,000 or $4,000 a month, or even more. I mean, it's scalable.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And micros are definitely the better option, especially once you're funded. If you move to the minis, very quickly can it go south because you just don't have enough drawdown to handle a losing streak, which may eventually happen, and you can blow it. So micros are the safe bet to do. And like you said, just small bits and they add up. It's incredible how quick smaller amounts add up. So I 100% agree with you there, Nick. But Walter, same question to you. Oh, carry on, sorry.
I think that depends a lot. That depends a lot because that depends on the size of the account. I usually go by percentages, and that's what I risk. I don't really care how much the stop, whatever the stop loss is that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I go by percentages. And if I think, because right now I have 20 accounts, that's up to 6 million, right? So if you think about it, just to hit 1%, wow, that's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. So if you hit 1%, I think that should be enough. And you can do trades of $250, $300 a trade. All you gotta do is $1,000. That's all. Because what I do is scalp trading. I don't do one by one, or I could do sets of groups, like 4 different groups, 5 accounts. Try to hit, I don't know, $500. Then go to the other one, the other 5 accounts to hit another $500, and so on, right? But realistically, if you think about it, if you do at least 1 or 2%, I think that should be enough. I don't think there should be a rule of saying, you know what, you should get 5,000 a month, 3,000 a month, 10,000 a month, because that depends a lot. It depends on the market, so it's gonna change every single month. But if you stay consistent with what you have with your system and your metrics, then you can try to think about, you know what, I'll try to go 1% in small hits, and that should be good. That should be enough, depending on your account. So 1%, it could be for 300K accounts, 50K accounts, 100K account. That depends a lot. So yeah.
So see it as a percentage basically of your overall capital rather than a fixed dollar amount. And again, 1% is a very realistic percentage. Obviously for you, 1% is huge considering the amount of capital you're controlling. But it's all about scaling and getting more capital, correct?
Correct. It's all about the capital. The more capital you have, it's a lot easier for you, because that way you can risk, you can risk less and you can have multiple chances. That's a lot better.
Yeah. Amazing. David, same question.
Yeah, I mean, along the same lines, especially on funded, I try and keep 1% or below. Challenges, I usually go 1% to 2% just to try and speed things up a little bit, because you can get stuck there for a while if you don't watch yourself. But I mean, even just this last month, I passed 20 Apex accounts, and I'm just still like, I'm super, super cautious with them, because I'm like, this is a lot of accounts, this is a lot of money, like, let's steward this, right? Like, I've been given this for a reason. So I'm still getting that all worked out. I'm not at the level of these professionals yet, but I know the lower risk I'm risking, the less stressed I am. So that's a win for me. Typically.
Totally agree. We don't have that much time left, so we'll ask one more question, and then we'll wrap it up with a closing statement. So the next question, I guess, would be, what's the biggest mistake you see traders make when they're trying to build an income rather than just make money? So Walter, we'll go to you first on this one.
I think they follow the money instead of being consistent. I know it's really hard at the beginning because when you're in this world, you're trying to make money. But at some point, you got to put that apart and try to stay focused on your system. If your system works, then eventually the money is going to follow. That's going to happen. So as long as you follow the rules, you stay consistent, and you manage a really good risk reward and risk management, you should be good. But I think it's going to happen. At the very beginning, you have to go through it. So you have to go through it. You have to leave it, and then eventually you'll realize it and you'll change it.
I completely agree. Completely agree. Nick, please, same question.
Yeah, so I'll tell you this. If you're just starting this journey, you're going to get into the prop firm space. It's a brick by brick. You got to build this thing brick by brick. So what I mean is, you go in, you start with one account, pass the eval, get it funded, get to the first payout, buy the second account, build it brick by brick. Because if you don't have your system, tried and tested, and you go in and you try to buy 10, 15, 20 accounts, you're just going to waste way too much money. Use the first payout to fund the next one, then do a next one. And then maybe you can buy 2 at a time or 3 at a time, but just build it brick by brick and just understand that, hey, this is a process. This is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Every trader in this room today, I'd say on average, traded for 3 to 5 years before they could really say they were making steady income. And that's just the way it is, right? It's a profession. It takes time, go into this journey with a brick by brick mentality. And, like somebody said early on, most people that aren't successful is because they quit too early. Give it time, but build it slow,
Totally true.
build it slow. And I'll leave it with that. Thanks.
Awesome. And David, same question.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the easiest thing to focus on in the beginning that I did not, and I had to learn through many blown challenges, is just learning the rules, right? Just digging in, going on the website, looking at FAQs, what's allowed, what's not, ask chat support what questions you have, because you can lose a challenge over markets going against you, and that's just part of the process. But if you, like, I remember losing a funded account on news because I didn't close it in time. I was just not paying attention. It's like, that's dumb stuff, right? Like, that shouldn't be happening. So if you can focus on the rules, figure out stuff like that, and then just work with the market instead of working against yourself, I think that would, give anyone a huge leg up, and then just refining your edge from there and, finding out what works for you.
Definitely. And before we wrap up, just one closing statement from all three of you. The question is, in one sentence, what's your goal for trading income over the next 12 months? David, we'll start with you quickly.
Oh man. Well, I mean, probably 6 figures. That would be great. Finish paying off a lot of stuff, and start bulking up our savings some more, and buy a home and all that good stuff. So small goals to start with. I know that sounds pity to some people, but yeah, that's a good 2026 for sure for us.
Definitely. I'm sure you'll achieve that. Nick?
2026 goals, 250K this year. That's my goal.
Nice. Definitely. I mean, it's doable, 100% doable, and you're on the right track as well. And Walter?
Wow. 2026 goal. I think at least surpass the 500K in my own real account.
Nice.
That's
nice.
my goal. Yeah, that's my goal.
It'd be
So
awesome.
all very good, ambitious goals, and I'm sure all three of you will achieve your goals. But guys, we do have to wrap it up there. We went a little bit over time, but thank you all for coming on. We're going to let, I think, Kathy or Boris come in and introduce the next segment. But thank you all, guys.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, gents. What a great show. What a great segment about how these guys are really doing a very consistent job of collecting income. More importantly, I think collecting income while they're pursuing other jobs. I mean, Walter is actually an analyst at Citibank. The people are doing real jobs. I think that's really, really cool in terms of how prop trading is not just only a way to become a business, but a way to become a side gig that's really flexible. And thank you, Sam from Ola Prime, one of our favorite one of our favorite prop shops that pays out on the money every hour with the moment you get paid out. It's really, really great. Use the code right above my head, 30% off. Make sure you use the code EDGE as a coupon code, and you will get the discount from them. Let's raffle off the Ola Prime winners for this half hour. Let's see who they are. They coming on? There we go. Neo 11124, Kubinator, Max Bonney, Zia Forte, Sunday Nasrim. You know what I love about all this, by the way? Notice how many different people have gotten free eval accounts. And the other thing I got to tell you, I just texted this to Kate. We are a couple of $100 away from $5,000 donation to both the Children's Hospital, the St. Joseph's Children's Hospital, and for the vets. So please go ahead. If you subscribe to the videos, just $10, it's going to put us over the edge. I really, really want to make sure we can bring up. It's a great thing for this community to be able to give so much money on our first Prop Fest to charity. What an amazing, amazing task. That is really, really great. Especially, for like $10 at a time. It really means everybody popped in. So if you want those videos, which are going to be amazing, I am going to study them myself because I learned more today than I think I've learned in 5 years of trading on the show. And you guys, please go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn it over to Kay. We have one last great guest, Daniel. Kay is going to introduce him, and I'm going to leave it in her hands for the final out.
First, Ola Prime is not just Forex. It's Forex, CFD, and futures. So you can trade any of these three. But before I get to my last segment, I mean, how many of you have been here with us from the very beginning? I don't even know how many hours it's been so far. Has it been 5 hours yet? Yeah. If you've been at that say at the beginning, say 5 hours or type 5. Let us know. How many of you have actually sat through this whole thing with us? Looks like, Izzy, Daniel, Trade Like a Tiger.
Yeah.
Lots of you have been here since 7:45 this morning. And I hope you have found, this Prop Fest valuable. We worked really, really hard on this. All of you who are winners so far, don't worry, we will be in contact with you. I've already started, messaging some of you, and, make sure that, if I don't contact you by Monday, make sure you message us through Prop Trader Edge. Let us know that you're a winner. Of course, we're going to double check to make sure as well to our list, but, it's been a labor of love. We're going to take the afternoon off, so you're not going to hear from us till tomorrow at the earliest. So don't, chain text me and ask me where's everything, because we're not going to do anything for the rest of the day except for spend time with our family. So I'm so glad that you guys are loving it. We saved the best for last. Actually, I can't say that. Every trader today was amazing. But Daniel Gutierrez is $1 million trader that you'll learn a lot from. And his trading is very, very unique. When I first learned about it, I also thought that it was very interesting and very unique. He trades market correlations between the NASDAQ, S&P, and Bitcoin using options, gamma options, to guide his decisions, which I think is incredible. And using this approach, he is one of our $1 million traders. He turned $500 into $1 million in funded capital with Axie Select. Now, Axie Select is completely different from, other firms. There is no challenge fees. You pay zero. All the funds traded are real capital, not simulated. It is designed for serious traders because it takes some time. It's not, you can't get funded in 1 hour or 2 hours or 4 hours with like ACAP or any of the instant funding options. It's designed for serious traders, and it's powered by Axie, an established global broker that's been in the business since 2007. Unfortunately, it's not available for US traders, but for everyone else, it's a very real option to consider. And Daniel's story will tell you exactly how he uses Axie Select to scale from $500 to $1 million in funded capital. Today, with our giveaway, Axie has no giveaways, but we will be giving away additional prop challenges. So just type in prop rocks as usual. Make sure you're following us on the X channel. Type in prop rocks under the Axie Select post that just went up on X, and we will pick winners from there for the other for one of the other random prop firms. So and of course we'll send you information on Axie Select, which is incredible as well. So with that, let me invite in Daniel. I'll have the honor of speaking to him. I've spoken to him before. Hello, Daniel. Welcome today. Thank you so much. Now, first of all, Daniel, thank you so much for joining us. I know today is your wife's birthday, so I really have to thank her for letting you take the time to speak to us, because I know you've got to rush out to her birthday dinner.
No problem at all. It's also it's some time for me and for all of you, so it's perfect. No problem. So first of all, Kathy, thank you for inviting me to stay here today, and thank you all for the event you are doing. I have having a very good feedback of my people, of my students. So thank you very much for inviting me and for everything you all are doing for all the community. So thank you very much.
Where are you based out of? I hear an accent. Can you tell us, where you're based out of?
I'm in Spain. I'm in Madrid. So I learn a little bit of English, and I'll try my best today.
I think, in Spain, there's a lot of, people trading and doing prop trading, because we had a speaker earlier that was here from Barcelona. So I think the Spanish speaking community, as you've seen from all of Randy's fans, all of Walter's fans, all of, Daniel's fans, there's a huge Spanish speaking community out there, trading prop. And, I think everyone here is very excited about the opportunity. Now, for people who are meeting you for the very first time, Daniel, and you have a very unique approach to trading. NASDAQ correlations, gamma, macro. We're going to unpack all of that. But first, I want to hear about you and, how long you've been trading for, and what were you doing before you were trading?
Well, I began trading when I was 18. I turned 40 couple of months ago. So I began when I was 18, as I said, but I didn't get it professional until 15 years ago, more or less. So I've been very focused on trading 15 years ago, and those last 2 years when I began with Axie Select is where I've been 100% focused on trading like my professional discipline to do every day, not just like something in parallel with my job, just 100% trader. So
okay, so you're a full-time trader right now. How long did it take you to become a full-time trader? I would imagine that you were not successful right away. There's probably some challenges, right?
Yes. So I think it cost me like 4 or 5 years to have something specific to analyze some rules, some strategies that allow me to do what I want to do according to my time that I have free to do on trading, according to my family, according to my job. So I think it takes me like 4 or 5 years, more or less.
So after 4 or 5 years, what were you trading at the time? Was it one specific instrument, multiple instruments?
Yes, I'm focused on NASDAQ and S&P 500 because I began trading the correlation between both of them, because they usually move together, but sometimes you can find something that is not going properly in the market because the correlation doesn't fix 100%. So I was used to trade this unbalance between those index.
Okay, I want to get into that a little bit more specific. What do you mean by NASDAQ and S&P correlations? How are you using that for your trading?
Yeah, that's how I began, because I saw this unbalance on the market. So I usually follow the NASDAQ movement and I trade in S&P 500 to follow the Nasdaq movement, because Nasdaq, it seems it has more strength than the S&P. And now what I have done is that I have implemented the gamma analyze, and I have seen how, if you understand the gamma exposure and the open interest on options, you can find the proper road that the big hands, the institutional hands, are using to understand what is going to happen in the market, if the big hands are going to buy or are going to sell according to what is happening on the options market.
So I think, not many people may fully understand what you're saying. First off, the gamma options information is publicly available, correct?
Yes.
Do you know can you share with us what that website is? Because I know we're not sharing screens.
Yeah.
It's like gamma, you just Google gamma options?
Yeah, you can Google that, and you can find that on barchart.com. If you find there, you can find the gamma exposure. I think if you Google gamma exposure barchart.com, you are going to find it. And you can check the gamma exposure, the open interest, the call and put open interest. So you can know where are the levels, what's the strike price for the market. So if now we have a super huge level on 7,000 for S&P. So if the market goes and reach 7,000, the 7,000 point, it's very hard, it's very difficult to break those levels at first without any super Donald Trump news or without any something very crazy. So if the market reaches this level according to the gamma exposure and the open interest, the market should fall, because there is not enough strength to cross this level, to break this level. So if you know where are those levels, you can think on those levels like traditional support and resistances.
Okay, so just to recap, because I know that everyone's just beginning to follow this along. First of all, the gamma options information is publicly available on barcharts.com. You Google barcharts.com, gamma options, and then you look at the S&P. If you see huge amounts of volume and open interest at a certain level, like 7,000 S&P, that should be looked at like support and resistance, where especially the bigger the amount is there, the more significant that support or resistance level could be. So let's say I have this information. I see that 7,000 is a very significant level. How do I incorporate the correlation aspect, or how do you incorporate the correlation aspect with that information?
Yeah, I usually check how those S&P and Nasdaq index move, and once I see the S&P 500 reaching or being very close to this level, because I think it's gonna be a resistance, I go short on Nasdaq, because Nasdaq has a bigger movement than S&P. So I use I search for I look for the enter point on S&P 500, but instead of trading on S&P, I go to Nasdaq, because the movement usually is higher and the commissions for my broker are lower. So I combine those.
That's fascinating. So following along, just to repeat, because I know there's a bit of a language barrier too, is that you find the key gamma levels, which tell you where the support and resistance is in S&P. You're not trading the S&P. You're then taking that information and trading Nasdaq, because Nasdaq moves more. It's cheaper to trade. It's more, it's more active. And once you're in trade, how long does this trade last?
Do you mean again? Sorry.
Once you're in a trade, how long do these trades usually last for you? How long do you hold them for?
Yeah, just not much. I mean, maybe 20, 30 points, something like that. Because I according of the million I'm managing, I just try to find very, very small trades, because the amount I have is a lot. So I go for 20 or 30 points, that maybe it's 1,000, 2,000 euros per trade. So I'm not very conservative in this point. I try to be like a sniper. Just I know this level, I know this point. I go short or long at this level, and I don't keep that for 1 day or 6 hours. No, if I have the profit in 20 minutes, I close in 20 minutes.
Now, can you use this to trade CFDs, right? One of the
Yes.
questions we have. So he uses actually, because Axie offers Forex and CFD trading. They're not a futures firm. So he's trading this off of CFDs. So I understand what you're saying with the support and resistance levels, the correlation around the key levels. How many trades can that give you a day?
Maybe one, two, not more. I usually, if you check the market, you are gonna check the maximum or the minimum of the day. They usually are the important levels, the support and resistance levels according to options market. They usually hit one or the bottom or the floor or the resistance or the support, and they usually check one time, and you have to be ready to enter it at this point.
So really, it's one, you just focus on the highest quality, I'm assuming, first time test trades of the day. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, to clarify, this Mario is asking, is it the S&P that leads the NASDAQ or the NASDAQ that leads the S&P?
Usually, NASDAQ is the leader, and S&P follows the trend, usually. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you also use this to trade Bitcoin, right?
Yes, because Bitcoin is, I think on Bitcoin like a risk asset. I mean, it's not like gold. It's like any other stock. At the moment, it's huge, and it also allows me to know what's the real feeling on the market. So if you have the index in maximum in a very very high price, and you see Bitcoin very low, there is something we are missing, because they should go together. The correlation between index and Bitcoin should be closer than we have today. So there is something weird. And if you think everything is gonna go perfect, just long on Bitcoin because now it's very low. But if you think something is happening, short on index because they're gonna follow the Bitcoin trend.
And I know in our previous conversation that you told me that Bitcoin can also telegraph, Bitcoin weekend moves can telegraph what will happen in the markets when the markets open on Monday. Can you walk us through that?
Sometimes when you think, I mean, sometimes when something is going to happen, we don't have all the information. Imagine we have a very important news on Tuesday, but the markets began to move before this day. So on weekends, usually you can check how Bitcoin begins a movement that is going to happen on the week on index. So for me, it's very easy to see how the market, how Bitcoin knows what is going to happen on the market in the following week. So weekends are very important if you have ability to check what's happening on Bitcoin, because it's like a clue about what's going to happen in the markets.
So how long have you been trading this technique for?
Couple of years.
And what has the results been like for you on all of this in terms of accuracy or percentage profits?
I've been using to reach the million on Axie Select. So I don't have a super back test. I don't have a super track about those trades, because it's having it. It's something you have to know according to what is happening on the market. So it's not something like expert advice or something you can optimize by rules. You have to know what's happening on the market, and according to what is happening on the market, you can preview what is going to happen. But there is no statistic behind that.
So what time frame, PGLS is asking, what time frame chart are you tracking all of this on?
15 minutes usually. I enter on 15 minutes. I go to 5 and 1 minute to check the perfect point. But my main candle is 15 minutes.
Do you have other indicators on the chart, or is it just price based after looking at the correlation?
Yeah, I usually use stochastic indicator in 533 configuration. Okay, and I also use parabolic SAR just to know what's the trend, just like moving average, something like that, very close. I don't use it to hit the change of the indicator, something like that. No, I used to follow the trend. I use it only to follow the trend.
Have you, I know Boris is asking this question, have you looked at how this works on gold?
No, it's impossible. I mean, gold is crazy according to the volatility, according to the economic politic. According to the politics we have had since COVID, the M2, the money in the market is huge. So we have print a lot of money. So the gold is crazy. So there is no something we can expect about gold, because the macroeconomic environment is bullish for gold, because there is always more money printed, more central banks buying. So there are no rules. I mean, everybody is long now on gold.
I think everyone's finding this so interesting. They have, they're wondering, have you looked at whether Bitcoin can determine how the dollar index trades for the week? I mean, I love how it's really getting the gears in everyone's brains moving, because this is a different way to think.
Yes.
But have you looked at this?
No, according to the dollar index, I mean, it's very difficult. That's why I think that Bitcoin, we shouldn't think on Bitcoin like in gold, because if you think on gold and dollar index, you can see some patterns. So it's easy to see. But if you wanna think on Bitcoin like in gold and dollar index, it doesn't work. So different. No, not for me. No correlation.
So with you're managing, you're trading $1 million right now, but there's a very unique setup for Axie in some ways, where you are just focusing on your you started with $500. I think now the core account is how much?
My main account is 20,000, but I'm managing 1 million.
Right. So you focus. What I want to explain to everyone is that psychologically, trading with such a big amount and managing such a big amount can be very psychologically difficult. But the way the Axie Select program is structured is that you get to focus on initially your $500 account, now your $20,000 account. So you're just laser focused on the smaller numbers, and then the rest of the money in real capital is copied. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes, for me it's very important that I don't have to manage 1 million, because I'm not used to manage 20,000, 30,000 trades. I mean, in profits or in losses. So I'm focused on my 20 runs account, and I can go 100 or lose 100. That's something I can manage, and also in my mind, I'm used to do that. But so for me it's easier to manage this amount. If I would have to trade 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, for me it would be different in terms of my psychology and in my mind, because I'm not used to that. So for me, actually allow us to grow slowly during this process, and you can reach the million without having too much bear on your shoulders.
I think this is very important. And in many ways, many of the traders who spoke to all of us today touched on that, which is that copy trading and the mentality of copying and focusing on just the initial accounts is really an important way to trick your mind, because we're all human. We're going to panic when the numbers get too big. And so in order to keep our cool, having a setup that allows you to focus on the smaller number and not worry about the bigger number is a good way to approach things.
Yes.
Now, why did you choose Axie Select instead of any of the other traditional prop firms? Because it does take a little longer to get funded.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, I know it's longer, but it's something you can keep for longer as well. So because there are no rules, you only have one rule: is not losing 10%. And if you don't losing or having a 10% drawdown, if you don't have a 10% drawdown, you can keep and do whatever you want. I mean, you can leave the trades open one day to another day, 1 week to another week. You can trade on news. You can do whatever you want. There is only one rule: don't lose or don't have a 10% drawdown. So for me, it's difficult. It's been very difficult to be profitable in the market, and having extra rules sometimes make it as difficult. So I prefer to keep focus on Axie, and I choose Axie because for me it's clever in terms of rules.
That's very true. I didn't even mention that. Axie has pretty much no real rules except for the 10% maximum drawdown. I'm sure there's little ones here there, but there's no minimum trading days, no news restrictions, no trailing drawdown. So, the only key rule is don't lose more than 10% of your entire account. And that's like a flat static rule, correct?
Yes, yes. So if you begin your account with 20 grams, like I have now, I'll crash if I go to 18. But if I go from 20 to 30 grams, my stop out is still on 18. So all the profit that I make in 1 month, I can keep using this profit to do bigger trades. So it's fantastic because you only have your stop out at the beginning of the month, the first day of the month. You know where your stop out, and you can do whatever you want without reaching this stop out.
So we have a question here, which is, what was the most important thing that helped you during your trading journey?
Just rest and keep calm. just having a good rest and having enough time to check all the information you have to check. I mean, my strategy depends on what's the market maker I think is gonna sorry. My strategy depends on market makers, on CTAs, and on the volatility managed funds. So according to the market, what have happened the day before, what has happened on Asian market, I have to have a very good picture about the economy or the markets before the markets open. And once I have this information, I search for the good points to enter. But if I'm not feel comfortable, if I don't have a good rest, I have to go to the doctor with the kids. If I'm tired, I don't trade this day. So trading is something you have to do when you are 100% focused and everything for me, from my point of view, and everything in your life allow you to do it smooth. You don't have to do it in a rush. You don't have to do it from your mobile because you have to trade because you need to trade. You don't need to trade. You trade because you want, but you shouldn't depend on I have to do an extra trade. No, for me, keep calm and focus on your strategy.
How much do you risk per trade? This is the question I think Boris has.
For me, I risk $20. What is a 0.01, something like that. So it's
Wow.
20. My goal is $30 per day.
And I'm sure there are losers. Is there a certain number of consecutive losers that you say I'm done for the day?
No, because as I usually go for 1 or 2 trades per day, once I lose one trade, I don't have new scenarios. So if I lose one scenario, there is no more scenarios coming. So I don't keep trading because my strategy say you have to trade on 7,000. So if the market is not in 7,000, you don't have to trade. If the market reach 7,000, I go short, and the market breaks this level, I stop trading. I reach the stop loss and I stop trading. Now maybe later or maybe tomorrow I have another scenario where the market goes to 7,000 and I have a new opportunity. But that's a new opportunity. I'm not looking for how many trades can I do in a day. I only trade what the markets allow me to trade.
Now, did you start trading Axie with the strategy that you developed, or did you tweak your strategy based upon the edge score? And if you don't mind explaining what the edge score is, that would be really great.
Yes, Axie, instead of having rules that kick you out of the program, they have rules according to your trading style. So one of the most important thing on Axie is we have to change our mentality, and we don't have to think on how much money can I win. We have to change that for we are risk managers. So the most important on Axie Select program is what's the drawdown you have had before you reach your take profit. So if you have a $20 drawdown and after you close the trade in $1, it means you are risking $20 for $1 win. It's something bad in terms of risk management. So you only have to be focused on risk management. Once you have a good strategy in terms of risk, the Axie score is gonna crash. It's gonna go up very, very, very easy.
I mean, basically, you're saying being a good trader means being a good risk manager, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And how long did it take you to reach that $1 million in funding?
Yeah, 8 months. I got it on 8 months, 2 years ago now. So I get it. I began 2 years ago. 1 year ago, I got the million, more or less, and now in February, I'm gonna do 1 million 1 year with the million. So it's only 8 months, but you don't get the million until the ninth month. So in 8 months, you can get it.
So just to wrap up, what kind of advice would you give traders who, are looking at different prop options? They're looking, they're starting to develop a strategy. What's the best way to have, kind of the mindset to start properly?
Well, the most important thing is you have to understand you are going to lose, because if you don't lose, you don't have a strategy. I mean, the market doesn't do what we want all the time, so we have to understand that we have to control the losses, and we have to accept the losses. Now you have to focus on what kind of strategy you have, and according to the strategy you have and the risk and the losses you are going to have, look for the best prop firm that is going to allow you to reach the next stages. So don't, instead of changing your strategy, just think what's the worst scenario for your strategy, and according to that, look the rules on each prop firm and try to find the best prop firm according to your strategy and according to your losses usually.
That's actually incredible advice to end today's session, which is, and I'm just going to repeat this, which is every single prop firm, including our sponsors, are all different. And, what you need to do is find the prop firm that fits your own trading style. They're all different. They offer different instruments. They offer different benefits. So, and many successful prop traders trade more than one. They may have an Axie account for a copying of real funds. They may have a Think Capital account or OLA account for Forex and CFDs, where they're trading the traditional prop. They may be trading futures with Apex, Tradeify, Top One. There's so many different options for all the traders. Of course, 8cap for those people who want quick challenges. So it's really about finding which firm fits you best. And,
Yes.
I think that's incredible advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I know that you've got to go to your wife's birthday dinner, and we kept you on time, so she won't be angry. And I thank her for allowing
It's gonna
you
be fine.
to participate today. I'm going to bring back Boris, and who's going to do the final raffle for the day.
Yeah, we're going to do the final raffle today. Thank you, everybody. I just want to thank all the participants. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for 6 hours. An amazing show. There's so much content I'm going to put together for you. I posted in the comments, if you wanted to get the videos and make a charity donation, I'll post it again one more time before we go. And then we'll email it to you. So it'd be great. I think we're broken the 5,000 donation, which is really, really great for everybody. Everybody gives yourselves a big hand. Let's do the final raffle for Axie Select, an incredibly interesting a model of prop trading. And Daniel, really incredibly interesting, because Daniel is the one trade a day trader. That's what he was. That's what's so fascinating. He just does one trade a day, win, lose, or die. And obviously, it's been a very, very successful model for him, because he's able to really understand where the institutional levels are and just trade off of those institutional levels for that one trade a day winning proposition. So let's do this. Let's see who's
before we announce the winners. This is not it. There will be more winners being announced on our social media, IG and X, over the next week. So make sure you follow. If you didn't win this time, maybe you'll win, sometime this week. If you loved what we're doing, tell us on X, tell us on IG. This is this fest, aside from bringing it to you, is for us to tell you about Prop Trader Edge, which Boris and I built, and it's focused on providing trader education, inspiration, and transparency. So what we do,
information about various prop firms as well.
Yeah. So what we do is we, first of all, tell you what's going on in the industry, a little less so because we don't always want to be Debbie Downers, but what we do is give you, really great trading tips, strategies, what to look at. We're going to bring in some of our speakers to be contributors. And so we just want to provide you with really great content. It's completely free. It's a free newsletter, proptraderedge.com. So, make sure that you follow all of our channels, because, everything we do is, on Prop Trader Edge is completely free. So with that, let's go ahead and share our winners. This is a raffle. Remember, Axie Select is not a paid challenge. It's a free challenge. You just deposit $500 and it's your money. You can withdraw anytime. So instead, we're doing giveaways for our other sponsors. So you'll get a free a challenge from one of our other sponsors. And here are the winners. You announced them, Boris.
Okay. Abukar Jamis. Then we have Jess Nappen and Energits, Ron Monroe, and Gene D Downtown 30. I love that, G Downtown 30. All 5 of you are going to be winners of our other prop firms, evaluations. And as Kathy said, we had $5 million worth of free evals to give away. So this is not the end of it. We're going to give more away. Please be sure to sign up to all the lists, follow us, let everybody know about us. Come watch us live on stream. I'm going to be on Monday. Kathy's going to be on Monday. We're going to be talking about macro starting the week. This next week is awesome. We got the Fed decision. We got lots of news coming up. So it should be a really, really great trading week. Gold, barely missing 5,000 on the close Friday. So all eyes on gold, of course, could be Monday. We're going to be trading that like crazy. So hopefully everybody is going to enjoy and come in and have a good time with us.
And do me a favor, if all of you, I'm so happy that you're so happy about everything we shared with you today. Share the word, tag the prop firm that you're trading with and say you loved Prop Trader Fest. Let them know so that, we can get more sponsors again to do giveaways and to bring in more speakers and just to be able to do this all again for you with, more traders. So, help us get the word out in social media, tag the prop firms you're trading with, tag, speakers you want us to bring in, anything and everything. This is all for us, a brand building exercise, so we can do more of this for you. For you, it's great education. We're raising money for charity. So we're accomplishing so much with today's event. And with that, I want to thank each and every one of you that's participated. We want to thank all of our sponsors, from Think Capital to Apex, Ola Prime, Top One, Axie, 8Cap, Tradeify, Wealth Charts. Thank you, all of our sponsors, for giving us, those accounts to give away. Thank you, all of you. Prop trading is a real opportunity. If you haven't tried it yet, any of the firms and traders you've heard from today are really great resources for your success tomorrow. And for those of you that are asking for the videos, as I told you earlier, we're going to take the rest of the day off and we're going to start cutting them Sunday, Monday. I think the latest you'll get them Wednesday, if not sooner. Right. I like to overpromise. So I hope to get it to you Monday or Tuesday, but Wednesday would be the latest. Otherwise, so that's when you're going to get the videos. If you won a challenge, we will be in contact with you by Monday. We're going to take the rest of the day off. It's a weekend for us as well. Thank you so much.
That was great. You know what? That was the best comment here from Leah Laris. She said it was inspiring, and that's really what we're trying to do. We're just trying to inspire people into having fun and enjoying this incredibly interesting opportunity for retail traders that just started. It's really just the beginning of that prop trading revolution, and we want to be ahead of it to help you as much as we can. So it's great.
So the videos will be coming over email. You're going to get a link. It's going to have all them cataloged by person, because we need to cut them. You don't want to watch 6 hours worth of content. We're going to cut them by person, edit a little bit, make sure it looks good and easy for you to follow. So you're going to get that. If you don't have it already, you can make that $10 donation. 100% of it goes to charity. So, you're helping this Hope for Warriors and St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Yes. And you can help us, like I said, tell us you love us on the YouTube video. Boost the post, tell your prop firms you like us, tell your prop firms you want, more from Prop Trader Edge, Prop Trader Fest, whatever it is you want to say. Just help us get the word out. That's all we ask for you. And if you're a winner, but the platform is not accessible in the US, we're going to DM you. So
That's
you can tell
fine.
us.
You know,
Yeah.
we're very flexible. If you're a winner and, like, for example, you can't take a U.S. account, you can't take a future account because you may be an emerging market nation, we'll give you one where that's feasible. If you want to do one where you got a CFD but you want to do a futures, we'll give you one that's feasible. We're going to be very flexible with you, whatever you want. The idea, we had such great sponsors. They give us carte blanche, and we're going to take care of you the best we can.
Okay, so thank you so much. I'm all, everyone's ready to go. It's been a long day, and we will see you all next week. Boris and I are streaming about FOMC on our YouTube channel and X on Monday, breaking down for you what to expect for the Fed, what to expect for the markets, what to expect for gold. So, come join us on Monday on our channels, and we can't wait to dive into the markets with you.
That's right. It's a great thing about trading. We can't wait. We can't wait till Sunday night, even, right? What other business in the world you can't wait for the week to start? So I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you, Kay. I will see everybody in the markets. Over and out for Prop Trader Edge and Prop Fest 26. Thank you for making it a great event. Bye-bye, guys.
Screens glow, coffee steam, chart lines, laser beams, bell rings, heartbeat sway, click, scalp the day. Got my finger on the trigger, tiny moves, big thrill, little candlestick flicker, chasing every small fill. Green flash, red flash, I'm surfing every wave, telling myself I'll quit, but I love this arcade. Every tick feels louder than the band in my head, floating on momentum, not the plan that I read. I say it's just one more, but I'm already late, lost in the ladder, dancing with fate. Scalp the day away, ride that price parade, up, down, I stay, till my worries scalp the day away. In this fever haze, one more trade, I say, scalp the day away. Disco ball on the ceiling, charts on every side, trumpets blast when I'm winning, float side when we slide. Stop lost in the corner, but I keep creeping tight, chasing that perfect entry like a strobe in the night. Every feels another spin, I'm glued to the screen, heartbeat on the hi-hat pulsing through the machine. I know I should step back, let the numbers just breathe, but I'm stuck in this shuffle. Can I please scalp the day away, ride that price parade, up, down, I stay, till my worries scalp the day away. In this fever haze, one more trade, I say, scalp the day away. Hands in the air when the spread opens wide. Buy, sell, echo inside. Horn stabs hit when the trend starts.